Welcome to the live stream. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'm not sure why that looks kind of hazy. Anyway, I appreciate you hanging out with me. We got an interesting topic today. Found out that the U.S. government, maybe the Army, maybe all of the military branches, are seeking private equity, capital from private equity to keep the machine running. Wild. This sounds like a dystopian sci-fi movie, horror movie, right? Because the dollar's basically, you know, being devalued by the day, and American people are all tapped out. The military's like, yeah, government's like, yeah, let's just open it up to private equity. What could go wrong? Says the military is increasingly seeking private equity funding to support infrastructure and modernization efforts. Oh, good. With the U.S. Army looking to raise $150 billion through partnerships with private investors. This approach aims to leverage underutilized military assets for projects that enhance military capabilities and infrastructure. You know, this could have been what's behind, what is it, Qatar coming into Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho. It's just wild what's going down. Like, where are the checks and balances? So this is an article from Business Standard. This article says they need the $150 billion, right? Pitched a framework that allows investors to use underutilized military land and depots for projects that yield tangible infrastructure of services in return. Whatever that means, I'm sure it's much sketchier than that, right? Whatever the gov tells us they're up to, William Bloom told us, just assume it is far worse. So they need money because Congress doesn't have the money to give them. This is crazy. It's like their spending is going out of control even more as we're nearing the end of the dollar. I mean, they just can't help themselves. This is why I recommend to people, like, check out The Great Taking, protect yourself and insulate yourself as much as you can. Hi, how's it going? Thanks for checking in. Army Secretary Daniel Driscoll is now asking private equity giants such as Apollo, Carlyle, KKR, and Cerberus to help fund $150 billion. Like, holy shit. This is it seems like kind of what Donald Trump was gonna do when he was the big beautiful bill. Didn't have something about public lands in there. It's like a fire sale. They're selling off everything they can to try to stay afloat. Heaven forbid they just stop spending. And I guess my question is this: I don't really understand why they're raising the capital. If they have the military, wasn't the plan always just to strong arm the world into compliance or just take what they want? I guess I'm having questions about why they're trying to raise the $150 billion when they've got the strongest army in the world. Again, I don't want to put any ideas in their heads, but wasn't that the plan, to build the army or build the military machine so that they don't have to answer to anybody? I mean, that's how they've been doing the last number of years, you know. Last week, the Treasury Secretary co-hosted a closed-door forum with more than a dozen leading private capital firms. The goal was to get private finance to underwrite military modernization. There's that word again, modernization. They always say we got to modernize this. It's like a catchphrase. Hello, how we doing? Instead of seeking fresh congressional appropriations, which we don't have the appropriations, so, you know, not much going on with me, just diving into the latest craziness of, you know, what the gov is doing with the military, making sure we can stay, you know, ahead of whatever's coming, right? Driscoll described the opportunity as a meaty one. What's up with you? What are you up to? Which meant large-scale, strategic, and capable of delivering results faster than the traditional procurement. Data centers on Army bases. Private investors could, for instance, build and operate data centers on Army property. In exchange, the Army would receive computing power and digital infrastructure rather than paying cash up front. Rare earth minerals processing. Setting up facilities on military land. These projects would help the Army secure critical mineral supplies while giving investors a long-term foothold in an increasingly strategic sector. It sounds like they're kind of reaching. Does anyone else feel like they're reaching? I mean, is there value there? Maybe. I don't know. Equity swap for national security. Other options on the table include leasing idle property, equity swaps, and co-investment in firms deemed vital for national security. The China factor. Behind the flurry of investor meetings lies a larger concern of the rising military industrial dominance of China. The dominance is viewed by Washington as a strategic vulnerability. You know, it's crazy. Let's jump into another. Let's see if we can find a video on this. U.S. Army. I think this is just now kind of coming out. It's within the last few days for sure. Let's see what this guy says. Yeah, that's just talking about the 150. It's perplexing to me why they just don't use the military to just do whatever they want. I mean, again, I don't want to put ideas in their head. You know, some of the videos that come up here, have you seen this Tiffany Cianci? I think that's how you say her last name. She's exposing a lot of smaller private equity. They go in and buy companies. Joann's comes to mind. Toys R Us is right here. That comes to mind. And basically, you know, and they did that with Bragg Foods too. I think that was private equity and Katy Perry and some Hollywood types, but they go in and they just dilute the product down and make it worse. And hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Jesus loves me, huh? Thank you. I appreciate that. And then they strip mine it out and they strip the value out and then they just run off with the cash. It's crazy. It's very crazy. You know, I guess it's just what happens in the end of a country when it's trying to desperately stay relevant, you know. I think the smart money's already bailed out of the US. I hate to say that, but then again, you know, as I look back over what the US has been doing over the last, you know, hundreds of years, it's not a lot of good things. You know, it's not a lot of good things. It's always for the benefit of that ruling class. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. You know, I just don't, I'm not down with it at all. Anyway, there's my piece. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Until next time, I wish you guys all the best health, wealth, and success. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.